All our lives, we've been told to go to school, get good grades, get a good job, and you'll be set. How's that working out for you? I'm TaVona Denise, physical therapist turned life and business coach, and I'm on a mission to help you create a life you love and a business on your terms. If you want more time, more freedom, more flexibility, I can help you create it. Welcome to Breaking Protocol, the show for women in healthcare who want more. Hey friend, I'm super excited because by the time this airs, we will be right in the middle of the Patients to Clients Challenge, a 5-day workshop for healthcare professionals who want to successfully transition from patient care to a thriving coaching business online. So if you listen to this on Wednesdays and you have not yet joined the challenge, there is still time to get in there, watch the replays, and be eligible to win the grand prize of $1,000 towards a coaching program with me. So if you're not in there, push pause, go right now to TaVonaDenise.com/challenge so you can catch up. And if you're listening to this at some point in the future, make sure you're on the list so you don't miss other events that I host, okay? So today I wanted to talk about the difference between coaching, consulting, and courses, because this came up the other day when I was being interviewed. So I thought I'd better say something, because especially if you are new to the world of online marketing and coaching, and you've been scrolling the Facebook feed and being lured by all the shiny objects, people with the $47 course and this course and that course, it really can be difficult to tell what you should invest in terms of your time and money. And if you don't know which is which and which one is more appropriate than the other, you may not get the results that you're looking for. Now, I say this with a caveat because when you decide that you are responsible for all the results that you create in your life, and if you've been following me for a while, you know that our thoughts, not the circumstances, create the results, then it really helps you take your power back and create favorable results, even in not so favorable situations. You know what I mean? So I'm saying that even if you have taken a course or purchased a course and it maybe wasn't that great, there is something that you can get out of it. But I really want to save you some time, energy, money, and stress. So stick with me on this one, okay? So maybe you've heard that courses are all the rage, and I actually get the appeal as a creator to want to make money in your sleep, and as a student to be able to go at your own pace. But we also know that courses have a terrible completion rate, and I've been guilty of it too. It's kind of like you might as well just flush your money down the toilet. So as a matter of fact, I purchased a course not too long ago that I haven't even done module 1 on. So I promise you, I'm not just wagging my finger at you. It happens to all of us. So why don't people finish courses? Well, it's because they don't have a clear purpose for the learning. So as soon as the next shiny course comes along, promising 6 figures, the other course gets left in the dust. Now, for the course I was telling you about, I have a specific date that I'm going to work through the course in preparation for a very specific thing in my business. So the first mistake when we're weighing and evaluating, should I invest in a course, should I invest in consulting, or should I invest in coaching, is to buy the course without understanding why you need it. Like, I purchased that course because I knew it would fill a skill set gap that I had. So do you understand why you need that course, or are you just experiencing FOMO, fear of missing out? What skill will that course help you build? Because usually the courses are just there to help you build a specific skill. And when are you going to complete it? So it's just like any other thing. When we talk about goal setting, we have to put a date to it. Otherwise, we get this thing in our mind that, oh, I'll get around to it. And it just kind of, I'm thinking about it now, it's kind of like the person that buys the treadmill and then they just put their clothes on top of the treadmill and they're like, I'll eventually get to it. So what you want to do when you are thinking about buying a course is first ask yourself, why do I need this course, right? What skill is it going to help me build? And when am I going to complete it? So consulting, as I see it, is where you go to someone who's a subject matter expert when you have a specific problem and you have them give you advice about your issue. It's very much like, okay, these are the problems I see in your business. Here's where the funnel, for example, is not working. And here's what I recommend you do. So they'll give you their recommendations and then they oftentimes leave you to make the corrections. So it's very much one-sided in that regard. Like they'll look at it, they're the expert, they're going to give you advice, you go off and handle it. And I actually think that consulting can be very important for your business, especially if you're at a stage where you have some momentum and traction, but something is off and you want a subject matter expert or an advisor to look at it. And the same can kind of be said with mentoring. So I think sometimes these terms can be a bit fluid or interchangeable, but if we're thinking about pure consulting, I think about there is something in a process, in a business, in a system, and that person is going to look over the system and see this is what's broken, this is how you need to fix it, and go handle it. Okay? So then there's coaching. I want to talk about this in a bit more detail because especially it's a newer industry, and those of us that are coming from healthcare are asking me questions all the time, like, well, what's the difference? Or what exactly is coaching? Do I need to have a certification to become a coach? Aren't I already doing coaching when I'm working with my patients, right? And so I think even in that question of, am I already coaching when I'm working with my patients? There is a bit of a misnomer or misunderstanding there, because I think a lot of times when we're working with our patients, we actually call it patient education, right? So we're educating the patient. So the difference between educating a patient, which even if I think about the difference between that and consulting, right? So consulting was there's something that's not working and we're going to fix something in your business or your process. Education is I'm going to give you some information, some knowledge, right? Obviously, it's usually based on something that is going on with our patient. But that's the difference to me between consulting and education. And then there is coaching. So it's really interesting to me when people ask the question, do I need to go get a coaching certification in order to call myself a coach? Well, the answer is no. You don't have to have any kind of certification to be a coach. There is no governing body over the coaching industry as of yet. So you can be a finance coach, you can be a life coach, you can be a whatever, a parenting coach, whatever kind of coach, you can be it. Now, where I find the difference is with us coming from the healthcare background, we are so used to being in the authority position. And we know best, and we have the information, and we have the education. So we're going to basically open up our patients' brains and dump our information into their brain in the form of patient education. Here's where the difference comes in when we talk about coaching. And the biggest difference between coaching and consulting is questions. So the consultant comes in and tells you what to do. A coach will ask you questions to help you find your best answer. For example, if let's say you are a registered dietitian, you're going to tell them based on the macros and all of those things what to eat. The difference is, at least for me, when I was trained as a weight coach, we don't tell people what to eat. We don't tell them when to eat. What we do is ask them a bunch of questions. And specifically in the way I was trained, Like asking them, what are they thinking and feeling when they're eating or the moment right before they're about to eat? Asking what foods feel good in their body versus telling them. So yeah, to me, the difference is asking versus telling. And in that, it is very co-creative in nature. When you are in a coaching relationship, there is this container that I don't actually know your best answer. I trust that you actually have the internal wisdom, and I'm just there to ask enough questions to help you access it. And so when people ask, do you have to have a certification for coaching? I say no. However, I think that it is a skill set. It's just turning it around in your brain and learning how to ask those powerful questions so that the client comes to their best answer. Do I think that you can do it right now? Absolutely. Think about it this way. And one of my clients said it so brilliantly this morning. I think she said it this way: PT school gets you prepared for day one, and the rest is up to you. And I thought that was so brilliant, because even though I had a license, still I did a whole lot of reading that first year. And I took a whole lot of Con Ed courses because I still felt like, at least for the population of people I was working with, that I didn't quite know enough. Did that keep me from getting started? Did it keep me from making money? No, absolutely not. But then I went to the various Con Ed courses to add various skills, various tools to my tool belt. And that's kind of how, if you feel comfortable, you can think about going to get a coaching certification. You know enough to start right now today and kind of guide and help and mentor if you feel more comfortable thinking about it like that. And then going to get the certification gives you additional skills that you can use to be even more powerful, even more effective. And so just the other day, I had a client say, she's like, oh, I know you're going to ask me what's the answer when I ask you a question, which is actually quite true most of the time. And I'm sure it's quite maddening to her. But the reason why I often lead with questions versus just spouting advice and giving out answers is because I need to understand, when I put on my consultant or advisor hat, I need to understand you and your situation and what's going on for you so that I can provide you with the best resources, so that I can give you the best answer that I have, as opposed to just giving you a cookie cutter answer. So when you are in a coaching container or coaching situation, just be prepared to answer a lot of questions and to come up with your own answers, because that's how we get better as business owners. That's how we get better at making decisions. That's how we get better at problem solving. If I go in and answer all the questions for you all the time beyond the base knowledge, who gets better at solving problems? I do. Who gets better at coming up with answers? I do. And so I want you to consider, if you are thinking about going into the coaching role, what hat are you wearing? Not to say one is better than the other. I think there are amazing consultants. I think there are amazing courses out there. I think there are amazing coaches. But just understand, if you are in the creator spot, so which roles do you want to take on? And then when you're in the consumer spot, which one is the best for you right now, where you are in your life, in your health, in your business, in your finances? And just consider all of that. Because for sure, when I work with clients, one of the things that I realize, because I've tried to be just in the educator and mentor role, and I've tried to be just in the coaching role. And I think for me, what works best for me and my clients is a nice little mix where we do some of both, because there are basics of business and there are strategies that just work. And then there are the thoughts that we have about all of it. So if you want to see the power of coaching in action in your life and business, let's set up a time to talk, because one conversation could change everything. Go to TaVonaDenise.com/momentum. Until next time.